the guest today I have with me right now is Inthu Nataraj. She's from Tamil Nadu, a motivational speaker. So she has her own plan of doing this show. I have no idea what she is going to do. So she has her own thing to go. As you know, I leave the hosting of the show completely to the other person. I don't involve in the hosting as long as the objective of the show is positive and objective of the show is interesting, right? So Instagram guys, if you want to see Indu, come down to Facebook or YouTube. You know my channel at the rate of Deek Parshni. Have a look at it. She's there, right? So let me welcome her. Indu, feel free to introduce yourself, what you do and why you're doing this, and we can take it from there.
Hi, good evening. In India, it's good evening and hi to everyone present here. I'm Inthu Natarajan. I'm a motivational speaker. And today, I am glad to meet you all in my show, Inthu's No Horizon. So here, I am very glad to have a person who has completed his BSc in USA, an MBA in India, and MSc in UK. He is not a person, such educational oriented. He is a person who inspires everyone by saying a name positivity. That is a main word which attracted me and which inspired me too. And the main thing which everyone right now is seeking for is a smile and a positive word from anyone, maybe in a family or maybe in wherever the person we need to. We expect for positivity. And here I am glad to have a person with such a positive spirit to join me here.
Let me start with the parents. Right now, you just take me as an example. I'm a teenager. If I am not employed or if I'm not having a job, my parents are not going to show the anger on me. Yes.
Okay.
But they have a feel that my child is not yet settled. So we also have the guilt feel that we are not settled. We are also making the parents inconvenient. So how can I convince the feeling for them?
See, I'm trying to re-understand your question. So you're saying that parents will not be angry with you because you don't have a job, or you have a job?
I am unemployed, but my parents will not show.
Why is that? So, see, the thing is, my point of view, there is many mistakes which parents do in their life, right? Which kind of due to which children also get misdirected. Children also have a hard time because of these reasons. So what I tell people or students or parents, that one thing is that when there is something wrong happening, please make sure you correct the child. It's not that it's my only daughter, it's my only son, and I have to give all the attention to that son. If I say something against them, they will feel bad, they might go do something wrong. And all these fear most of the parents tend to build up, due to which on a longer run, they actually miss out a lot of things, or when they really face the real world, they're not willing to face it. So if a kid is unemployed, the first question parents ask is, what's wrong? Not, show the sympathy, what is wrong? Why are you not getting employed? Is it your education issue? Are you not going through the interview well? Are you not working out from that point? So the discussion should be more revolved around that rather than being sympathized. Because sympathy comes, children will say, as long as I don't have a job, I'll get all the sympathy from my parents. So basically what's happening there is you're getting misused in the process. Basically what's happening is that it is working against you, so that you don't become a good human being, right? So parents, when the kids are doing wrong, please step up and say that you're doing wrong. Right now, I have talked to many youth, I've talked to teachers, I've talked to many set of age groups. The teacher's simple complaint right now is parents tend to support their children when even they're making a mistake. Yes. Right? And that has to stop, because if it's a mistake, it's a mistake. Now, for example, you would have noticed, right? Since you're in parenting, I'm just giving you some clues as to how parents are unknowingly making mistakes. For example, you have noticed in India, when you drive a car or a bike, someone makes a mistake or someone crosses you, whoever makes a mistake directly shouts at the other person. He knows he's wrong,
Yes,
but still he will blame the other person. You know, why does that actually happen? It starts from very, very childhood. Inthu, let me ask you a personal question. When you were a child, okay, when you were a child, when you hit against a chair or a table, what does your mother do? Your mother takes your support and starts, oh, table hit you, hit the table back. Does that happen to you?
Yes.
Mother did to you?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
obviously.
So what happens there is the child consciously knows that the child has made a mistake. So there the mother is teaching the child, hit the mistake, hit the people, it's not the mistake of the chair, it's not the mistake of the table, it's not the mistake of the wall. But mother is indirectly teaching the child that even though if you make a mistake, go and hit the other party for doing it for you. So consciously you're building this into your child's head that even though if you made any error, even though if you made any mistake, blame it onto the outsiders first, because my son is always correct. My daughter is always correct. So this is the problem which I have seen, which on a longer run is building up and working against the whole society, right? So parents, now more about parents, since you have picked the topic of parents, I always say one thing: the most powerful and the most superior and the most divine relationship is a husband and wife's relationship. People tend to say mother comes first, second comes father. There is this Indian tradition which says Mata Pita Guru Deva, right? I completely agree to that principle. But then on top of all that, you have husband and wife staying together.
Yes.
So first, for any human being, before marriage, you can say is Mata Pita Guru Deva. But after marriage, it is your spouse first and then Mata Pita Guru Deva. Right? Okay. Which very people don't realize it and they take it on. And the most jokes are always done on couples. I don't know why. The most gossips are always done about husband or wife.
Yes.
I don't know why. That's the most divine relationship. And people play around with their relationship at such a bad level that on a longer run, it doesn't work well for the society. On a longer run, it doesn't work well for the children. And on a longer run, it basically falls that family relationships issues also. Right? Did I answer your question? I'm just talking about something else, what I want to talk.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Actually,
yeah, okay,
yeah. I got the answers. Second one, what I want to ask is the distance between the parents and the children. Not like isolation. Now we have the electronic gadgets, we have the mobile phones, and we also do work from home. And whatever we do, though you are in home or you are outside of the home, no matter, we have this bonding. We just got a gap in the bonding.
Yeah.
So what can be some tricks or things to be like fulfilling the bonding with the parents?
Okay, so basically, I think Inthu, you're talking about the generation gap and the involvement of electronics or mobiles into people's life, which is actually bringing the gap. Generation gap is a word which has been invented by people just because both parties don't want to improve. For example, parents don't want to update themselves on mobiles and social media. Children don't want to understand the Indian culture or family culture. They have this new the celebrity culture which they're trying to copy, which is actually offbeated from most of the Indian cultures which is being taught. So what's happening is that people are bringing these gaps. People are bringing this and then the gaps are mainly done by corporates, because the more gaps you create, the more they can sell, right? So it is more about, like I always say, pink and blue. Why does a girl always have to have pink and a boy always have to have blue? Why can't a boy wear a pink shirt? I wear a pink shirt. I have a pink suit. Right? So the corporates are trying to separate the people. Corporates are trying to separate that family as much as they can. Now, if you look at the ads, previously it was joint family ads. Then it became couple ads. Now you have children's in the ads influencing, Mama, have this hair dye. So basically children's are being also influenced in the ads. So what is happening is that as long as the values are not transferred properly to the child, as long as the child, because once you transfer the right values, they will also respect the values which the parents have. So the gap won't be created unnecessarily. That is point number one. Second thing, what happens here is parents are so busy that they don't have time to transfer these values. The father is taking a loan for the child's education and not telling the child that they have sent to this college by taking loan. The parents keep quiet. Children want a new phone, and you go after the new phone, and the child will come back to the father. Father, I want a new phone. He's on loan. That's not being told. So basically, it is not generation gap. It is a communication gap which is being created between both parties by not exchanging what is the father's story or not exchanging what is the children's story. Around the dining table, what is the biggest conversation? It's always world news. No one talks about mother's news. No one talks about father's news. No one talks about the children's news. Have a look at it. You look into your home on the dining table. What's the topic of discussion? It's always the world news or the neighbor's news, or look at the other child, look at that. Did anyone ask Mama, how's your life at home? How's your working life? Papa, how's your working life? You start having that conversation. I'm telling you that gap will slowly step outside. Now, the other thing about mobile phones, you know how mobile phones is bringing gaps. Yeah, I have seen in my surroundings, if you're in the hospital, if you're in the places where kids have to be kept quiet, most of the parents hand over a mobile to the children.
Yes.
They just hand over the phone. So when you're handing over the phone, what you don't understand here is automatically the children are being used at a very early age using a mobile or using whatever it is. So at day one itself, that gap is being created by the mother and father, because mother can't run after the child. Father can't chase the child, because when the kids go to explore, they are going to explore and they're going to run in the hospital. They're going to run around in the most serious part. You are not leaving the run out. So hold it, take this phone, look at the phone, I am free. So people want this freedom from the child, and because of the freedom what they want, they are building it up from that point, and then again it is working against them. Right? So there's many factors as to how this gap is being created, because you don't understand that how at a very young age children are being introduced to phones. Right? So if that is not managed well, it's not that I have a child which is 3-year-old. From the first 2 years, he was never given phone. I've seen even 1-year-old being, they have this pram, and the pram has an attached laptop and or mobile or whatever it is, and the kids are being exposed to it. Right? So what you have to understand is how you introduce the child, and that how the child is going to grow. And then you will ask me the question, why is a child attracted to PUBG or attracted to some Facebook, attracted to social media? Yeah, at the age of 1 and 2, you're giving them phone and social media stuff. How can the child give away from it? Right? Sir, right. Most of the parents are watching TV now. I have seen with my own eyes, mother is watching a horror show and a kid is sitting there and watching the horror show at the age of 3. Right? What do you think is going to go through the kid's mind? What do you think is what the kid is going to take into the system? Mother have to see the serial. No. If I miss the serial, it is like I can't gossip with the other ladies, so I have to watch the serial. But even kids are being exposed. So that's why nowadays, if you see serials, even kids are there in the serials. Kids have a big role in some of the serials. Why? The kid will relate to that kid, and the kid will start getting it. So the kid learns revenging at a very early age. At still 18 years, kids only know about love. They don't know anything more than love. But then what happens is at a very early age, you tell them revenge, you tell them cheating, you tell them how to tell a lie. Now, for example, parents again. I'm not blaming parents again. It is how they are unknowingly getting to it. They will say that, beta, you should never tell lies. Right? Most of the parents say that you should always tell the truth. But my simple question is, you are at home and your uncle and auntie is giving a call. How many times did you tell your child to tell that uncle and auntie, I'm not home? Many times. So you are teaching kids somewhere around how to tell a lie, and there afterwards you expect that kid to stay with the truth. It's not going to happen. Right? So these gaps are all created by parents itself, and somewhere around that value transfer is not happening. Since the value transfer is not happening, you are asking for trouble. I hope I've cleared all your questions with regards to parenting and the issues.
Yeah, whatever I have in my list, everything you conveyed, but I am asking some spontaneous questions. No matter, sir. Actually, when I was a kid, when I ask something, my parents will strictly say, "It's you're not supposed to get that," or "I'm not supposed to buy and give you that." No. But presently, we don't have such a strictness with the bonding of parent and child. If a child is asking something, they kneel and they buy in. And too much of care and too much of affection, it is too much. If you see only, they will understand. Like going and pampering, begging, all these things are happening right now. Is this a good sign of growth of parenting?
It's not a good sign, because I will tell you why that happens. Why that is happening is that parents, what is happening to parents is that it is moved to a nuclear family. So that is point number one. Both mothers and fathers are generally working. That is point number two. So generally, parents don't have enough time to spend quality time with their children. They are making money. So the only thing which they can do is to exchange their time with money. So to make it easy, I'll tell you something. You go outside. So in future, you're going to be a mother, right? You go outside. Your child is crying. What do? Parents are going to run, because what people are going to think? What people are going to think? My baby's crying. What people are going to think? Get a chocolate. Chocolate is not good for health. Oh, get a chocolate. Get a candy filled with all the artificial flavors. You give the candy to shut the kid out. So what the kid is learning there? If I want a candy, make some noise.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
So basically what we are doing here is one thing which kids don't understand, or parents don't understand, is the day your true parent is when you are completely relaxed when your baby cries in public. If you want to know what's true parenting, that is true parenting, and talking to him, relaxing him up, making him understand that this chocolate is not good for you, training him in such a way, even though he cries, he shouldn't feel that crying is the way to get stuff.
Perfect.
But who has the time? The problem is the time is the problem. Who has the time to sit down with a child? Baby, why are you crying? Is there any problem? Are you hungry? Most of the kids at a very early age only cries for two things: sleep or food.
Yep.
They're cranky for sleep or food. But to cover that crankiness, you tend to give him a chocolate. You tend to give him everything what he asks for, because you have money. So the other point is, kids is not learning the value of money also. Indirectly, the kid feels that my dad is a bank account. Ask my dad for bank account. Give the money will come. I will get what I want.
Yes.
So again, I'm not blaming. I'm just saying a point of view, what I've observed, what I'm seeing the world going towards to, which could actually work against the whole society at the end. And then after marriage, when the husband doesn't give it, holy cow, divorce. How is that possible? My mother has been giving me every chocolate which I asked for. Now this new guy comes into my life and he's not giving me one single chocolate, but he's giving, a sweet candy. No, I want chocolate only. Because whenever I asked for chocolate, I got chocolate. The guy is saying, don't go for chocolate, have a fruit juice. It is much more better. No, I want chocolate. You are not understanding me. You are not feeling my feelings. Oh, we are not made for each other. Oh, there the discussion goes and goes on and on and on. And then people try to justify it and goes on. So, I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, sir. Yes. So from your point of view, can you just say me some 5 points which a proper parenting is?
See, my experience is only 3 years. The other experience is I have 35 years of my own mother's experience. So these are the two experiences we say. So I always tell my mom, I know you more than you know me. Right? You know how? 9 months I'm with her in her stomach, and after that, whatever time you show, so I'm always ahead of her 9 months more, right? So that's why I told her, I know you more. I know you from inside and outside, right? You only know me from outside, right? So that's the joke I always tell my mom. But then at the end of the day, 5 points, if I would say, is that give time for your children. I know 2 days ago, I talked with a girl who says that both my parents are working and I'm feeling alone. What am I supposed to do? Right? So give time. That is first point number 1. Second thing is, whenever your children is having an experience of a third party other than you and your husband, be alert. Because if you're not alert, there are chances that those third party can turn your child against you. Because if you don't teach the right values to your children, others are going to teach the wrong values to your children. So that is second point. I know many kids who gets harassed by their uncles or aunties or whatever it goes on, right? So that is the second point. The third point I would say about good parenting is, what is this good parenting? One is time. One is be careful, alert. You have to stand with the truth if it's your child or not. If he made a mistake, make sure you punish him or make sure you discipline him in whichever way it is, right? And the fourth point would be, when there is an issue, your mother and a father both should not shout at a child. One person shout, one person calmly make the kid understand why the shouting is happening. Right? Okay, because I've seen sometimes both the parents, hey, you did it wrong, both sides will get. No, one person shout, the other person calmly listen to them, tell them, see, your father is saying this because of this. See, your mother is saying this because of this. So that's the fourth point. And third point is, guys, don't hand over your responsibilities to other people. Because most of the parents I've seen, when the kid is born, they hand over to the grandmother, their own mother or a grandfather. After that, they find a maid to take care of them. After that, they find the teachers to hand it over them to school and they take care of them. And if you can't manage them their evening times, you put them for tuitions in the evening. So the tuition teachers manages them. I'll tell parenting one thing. If you are in that attitude, when you are old, your kid will find a maid. Your kid will find an old age home. Your kid will find someone else to hand over you to. Many parents complain to me this. Nowadays, children don't give us time. When you were a child, did you give that time which they wanted? If you have given, they would give you back the same time. But then if you haven't given, that is a question you got to ask yourself. So anything what you overdo, which is over love, over care, over attention, everything what you do over as a parent obviously works against you because you have done over. As a saying goes, which I always say, whatever you do over, God or universe won't credit you for that. Learn to love, learn to care, learn to shout, learn to discipline your child. Not over love, over shout, over anger, over care. And when you do something over, there is a consequences which is going to come back to you on a longer run. So these are just 5 points I would actually give to parents, and from there I think they can get into the first step of parenting.
Yes, sir. Perfect. So the first sequence of first P, parenting is over. So we'll quickly go to activity session. So activity session actually includes the experience only, which is a bit fun oriented. So think on your first sequences of public speaking, in your starting stages for public speaking and all your influencing all the areas, you would find something fun on the stage where others would have not noticed, but you would have noticed. You would have kept that as so personalized. Is there anything like that?
See, the thing is, most of my talks are impromptu, right? So there are many times I know I make mistakes. Like my wife actually picks many of these things, right? So, but what happens is even though I start wrong, maybe make most of the mistakes I do, sometimes I don't clearly understand the question. So what I will do is I will revolve around the things which is related to it, And then I will talk as much as I can. Like, I think your first question, what I did was I didn't actually clearly understand the question. So I just talk on a general perspective of what those points are, and then get a feedback if I've actually answered to that or not. So when you have questions coming in, I'm not a motivational speaker, point number one. I'm not a person who gives prepared speeches. I'm a pure person who goes impromptu. The question you ask me, I'm going to reply to it. So initial stages, I had troubles facing that. It was not that much of a fun. It's just that you didn't understand the question, right? And you're just talking about an understanding question. But it goes on and goes on. And when I go back asking the person, oh, did I answer the question? But my wife always tells me, whatever question people give you, at the end of the day, you'll reach the answer somehow. So she has no worries about it. Now, the other fun part, basically, I have a lot of fun with my wife, right, in all my shows. So basically, the other thing is, she always asks me this question: how are you answering everyone's question? She has no idea about it, right? So I said, don't worry, people will only ask me what I can answer, right? So I have no issues with that, right? So that's how it's gone. And in terms of funny stuffs, yes, sometimes I forget. Like, I talk, I completely forget the question, right? Then I stop in a while. Yeah, what was your question? I actually forgot. I sometimes offbeat myself, but then I just take it as a joke, right? For me, if people make fun of me in my session, I enjoy it. I never took anything seriously, right? Whoever I talk to, I always saw them as my friend. So when I see them as my friend, I obviously just go on straightforward. You make fun of me. In my shows, people say, you guys can make fun of me, you can make joke of me, you can cross-question me, you can crack a joke. It doesn't matter. I'm going to laugh with you. Don't give me respect. That's what I tell people. See me as a friend, see me as a brother, and take it from there, right? So that's what I would do.
That's a great attitude, sir. This is a very real attitude where it's very unique in you, I think.
All thanks to God for that, right? Because I have literally, like, for example, I'll give you another example of my personal example. I had, when I was giving a show, right? When I was doing a show, the teachers had to go suddenly somewhere. So it was a classroom of about 150 students, all sitting together. One guy at the back started whistling, right? So now, what do generally people do? The other person can get angry. So what I did is, like,